Welcome. How is everybody feeling with these energies, with the new moon, with the eclipse, and all the geomagnetic storms and solar flares that are going on? Whoo! I'll just say that it's been a rough one. It's been yesterday. I was on top of a mountain and I was getting hit with the energies, and I started getting nauseous and lightheaded. And we were coming down off the mountain, and it was just, it all came at me at once. I had to close my eyes, let my husband drive for a while because it was just too much. Then when I got home, I was like feeling it, and I had to remind myself to cut the cords, because we're constantly connected. And so reminding myself to cut the cords is
Yeah,
good. I
I'm
immediately
serious.
started feeling better once I did that energetic cord cutting, but up until then I was like, oh my gosh, I just was like bowled over with nausea, just so much. I don't know if I was picking up on the collective energy or what, but
I
it
relate
was
to that
pretty
so
intense.
much. My stomach it's always my stomach.
Mhm.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
And like Dolores Cannon says, the organs pretty much are telling us, we can't stomach something, and that's what's going on a lot, in this world. It's stuff that we're witnessing, and we're like, oh my gosh, so we're having a physical reaction to a lot of what we're witnessing. And so, make sure that you're clearing and doing your energy work and protection and not, and that kind of thing, activating your pillar, uh you know
Just taking deep breaths. Take deep
yeah.
breaths.
Hmm.
Practice taking deep breaths because surprisingly that helps that helps tremendously. That helps you get centered. Deep breaths help
Yeah.
you get centered and back to you. So anyways, I got these cards. They're one of my new decks. It's called the Good Tarot. I love these cards. They're so beautiful. I'm just going to show you what they look like. Some of the cards.
Oh,
They're
that's
just
great.
really, really pretty.
Hmm.
And I started looking at them and immediately I know what they mean. You know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
been studying this for a long time. I've been listening to readings for a long time. And I feel like it's time. I'm ready. I'm ready. Ooh, the Ace of freaking Cups just popped out. I love it.
You'll have to explain, because I do the oracle, so I don't really know the tarot and what all the cards mean, so please elaborate.
I will. Ooh, I'm gonna pull a few.
Okay. Well, I pulled three, and what I'm getting is write about your thoughts and feelings, take your time making a decision, and self-respect. And I think that speaks to me right now. Writing down, especially talking about our immediate past, with writing down your your requests for the universe with the new moon, and the eclipse energies. So that's me. I was just doing this, writing everything down, and then with Mercury going into retrograde too, you've got all of these shadow, all of this dark stuff that wants to come up, and be cleared. And so right now, the card that I'm getting for right now is take your time making a decision. So for me, when I'm getting kind of like like mixed feelings and I don't know what to do with them, it's kind of a message to just not make a decision.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to wait, and then put the self-respect. That card pops up for me a lot, self-respect, because it's something that I have to remember as a woman, as a female, especially in a relationship that can be toxic at times. I have to put my self-respect first, and constantly put myself first and say, does this feel loving, does this feel respectful, and if not, then remove myself from the situation. And it's a difficult time right now for me. Um, I just had my husband and I and my daughter went out of town, and we had a hand fasting ceremony, which meant more to me than it did to him, of course, because he's not really aware, of anything more than just the physical world. And so he's like, well, this is weird. Why are we doing this? We're already married. And so he didn't really put a lot of thought or effort into it. And it kind of hurt my feelings. But, I have to talk to his higher self when that happens. And that's what I've been focusing on. I meditated last night talking to his higher self. And I cried quite a bit because dealing with someone who is constantly seeking escape through alcohol, and then bringing in lower energies, lower entities, whatever wants to take over him. It's difficult to deal with because it's like you're married to multiple people. Um, so it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. And so remembering to respect myself and to command respect in my relationship, regardless of his state of mind. If he is going to be disrespectful to me, I'm learning to disengage. And I'm noticing, and I put up a mirror, and I'm noticing that he fights with himself now. Like he was in the kitchen just under his breath fighting with himself because I wouldn't respond. I wouldn't tell him, because at that point, there's no point in discussing when someone's inebriated. There's no point in discussing because you're not talking to that actual person. You're talking to a spirit or a low vibration entity, or something else that is driving at that point in time. So it's a waste of energy. So I've learned to disengage, and then I watched him just kind of um, you know roll himself up into a big ball of emotions and anger and explosion. And I literally had nothing to do with it. I went to bed, and I woke up this morning and I was feeling those residual energies as well. Which is tough because it's like, man, I thought we were past this, but with Mercury retrograde, it's like, not that I want to blame everything on on that, but I think it comes up for a reason. It's a cycle that he's in the middle of, and he'll say things that I know are his higher self, like, one day I'll quit drinking, and it's like, I can't hold on to that hope right now. I can't fixate on that because honestly, it's a distraction. It's a distraction from what's important for me. For me, I need to focus on myself, my attention, my daughter, my meditating and remembering to cut those cords. That was a thing. I was in the thick of it because we are so connected, my husband and I, that when he's drinking, I can actually feel drunk. So I have to remember to cut the cords, especially, with all of the other energies going on. I was kind of overwhelmed. And then immediately when I remembered to cut cords, the nausea went away, and the feeling of being like in this emotional cage went away. And then I just went to bed. I meditated and then went to bed. But it's so important when we're in these relationships with people who are not on a healing journey in the physical world. He might be on a spiritual plane. His higher self is doing other things, but the person that I'm with currently is not interested in healing. And so it's difficult. It's extremely difficult navigating that and remembering to respect myself at the same time and command that respect in that relationship.
Yeah,
So.
that's, you're preaching to the choir. I've had a lot of learning about how to separate and cut cords and have no attachments and let the person be who they need to be and try to detach from it and not take things personally, and how to, empower myself. He's taught me self-love now. So there's a lot of learning and lessons in more, because I look at it just like you do. We're multi-dimensional, and when we're learning,
it complicates things, doesn't it?
in our relationship, well, it can, but it helps because we are emotionally more mature than they are, and so not that we can control the situation by being tactful and wise and use our wisdom and knowledge and experience to our benefit, which is actually what we're meant to do.
Well,
We're
and
meant to.
it's kind of
So
like, we learn all of our spiritual tools, and then in these relationships we get to use them. So it's practice, and the more often it happens, the stronger we get. And it comes with a lot of emotions. It's not easy navigating relationships. It would be easier just to go be a hermit on a mountain, in a cave somewhere. I mean, that would be great. I could just hang out with my crystals and my sunshine, and not have to come down and talk to anybody. But that's just not what I'm meant to do. That would be great. And I do that. I do turn into the hermit
why
when I
not
need
though?
to, but I want,
Why not?
because I want relationships. I want to have love in my life. And love is messy. You know what I mean? It's in the 3D world, it's messy. It's not always what we think it is. And I think that we when we're in the spiritual realm, we're coming down and we're like, oh, that looks like fun. Let's do all that. And we sign up for all of these courses, and we're like, let's try love, and let's see what that's like. And let's try marriage and see what that's like. And, now that we're in the physical world, and we're like, oh, they had their plan too. And maybe it was a little bit different than ours. And so we're kind of butting heads. And so it's just, kind of
Yeah,
learning from experience.
that's quantum entanglement. We're quantum, and now we're with these other people, and that makes it quantum entanglement. And so, especially when we have children with them, because we are always entangled. We, so always there's always that entanglement. But anyway, yeah, and it's funny because I was holding up the cards because you were talking about the cards and they were right here.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
funny.
the Ace of Water, the Ace of Water is emotional fulfillment. It's like, and it's the ace, so it's new emotional fulfillment. So something is coming in that's going to bring us emotional fulfillment. Whether it's on the collective, so it's a general reading. Just take what resonates, obviously. But yeah, so something is coming in, whether it's a relationship for people, a job, communication, a partner, new opportunities to be emotionally fulfilled. And that's what we're experiencing is that expansion of our heart. It's an expansion of our emotions. We're constantly raising our capacity or increasing our capacity because we're leveling up so quickly. And it's amazing how much stuff will come up once you hit that level, because once you start leveling up, the stuff that needs to come out will come out, and you don't have control over it. It just comes out. That's what I've been dealing with. And it's so funny because one week I was so sick, like you said, with the nausea from going to Joshua Tree. And then the next week I was sick with like a head cold. And then this week I injured my leg and I was laid up on Saturday all day. I laid down all day. And I'm like, why am I being put in this position? Like, what am I supposed to be learning? But my guides are like, you need to just do nothing.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself and do nothing. And I'm like, but I have things I got to do. Like, I'm walking my kids to school because my car right now, and my husband has it because we're working on his. We have the whole heads ripped off right now, and we have an open engine in our driveway, so it's like, so we're doing that too. Like, I'm dealing with the 3D, and I'm dealing with a relationship on so many different levels. But I don't know, I don't know. I can't talk about it too much here, but I just don't know I know what's going on, and I have to be emotionally mature enough to allow the person to be what they need, do whatever they need to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's the
That's
hard
the
part.
hard part.
That is the hard part,
That's the
is
freaking hard part.
loving
Hands
and
off.
not getting involved.
Not
And
touching it.
I think that's what we touched on last week. With me talking to my husband's higher self, is that he's doing things in the spiritual world that
Yeah.
I am not even, that I have no awareness of, or I had no awareness of. And so when we're judging other people and wanting them to do what we want them to do, we don't know what their mission is. We don't know what they're sent here to do. So that's where it gets complicated on the quantum level, because I'm seeing my husband in different dimensions. And, and it's like I want to pull in more of the higher him, and forsake the lower him. And, I have to remember that they are the same person. It's just different dimensions of him. And so, I can't forsake one and hope for the other. You know what I mean? Same thing with myself. I cannot suppress my shadow and then live in the light. You know what I mean? I have to work on the things that are in the shadows. I have to work on those things that are deep and dark and underneath, in order to be a fully integrated person and whole. You know what I mean? I can't hope for his wholeness and for him to heal, but only want to be with the higher version of him. He's an unhealed person, and he's, maybe he's moving towards his healing. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's not my place to judge, but me putting pressure on him and wanting him to do it my way is not the way that it's meant to be. Unfortunately, we think we know everything that's best for everybody else, and we don't. Maybe it's what's best for us, and letting that go. That's
what's
hard.
best for us.
Yeah.
That's the best part, and we have to trust that part that we know is best for us. If we keep putting our light out, dimming ourselves, making other people happy, pretending, lying, being inauthentic, being in what is that word? Denial, obviously. That's not working, so you have to be honest and open and speak your truth. What I was writing down, I was like, you have to let him come up with his own conclusions. And that's so hard, because in the end, we both know, we have an idea. And because a lot of us, we've seen it.
Sorry, my dog is in the window. Go lay down. Go. Get down. Go lay down. She's poking her head out in the window.
That's funny.
She's in the window.
Hi. She's like, I'm spying on you.
I know. She's like, I want to come out there, but she was roughhousing. I'm going to let her out. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, I'm serious though. We have to let them come up with their own conclusions. We have to stop micromanaging the universe and just let the divine orchestration play out, because we already did this before we came. We already know, like on a soul level, our higher self knows already, and we have to trust that their higher self knows what it's doing, and we need to just let them be.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everybody got to see you make out with me. Thank you. Now,
That's
I
so
really
sweet.
appreciate it.
I love you. I love them. I know, it's so cute.
Okay. Calm down. You're going to knock over everything. All right. I know you're excited. Gonna hold the table down.
Like, yeah, you let me
I've got all my crystals out on the table, and she's like ready to knock everything over. She's sniffing it all. So I have a bunch of amethyst out. All right. Okay. You want to smell it?
I saw your grid. That was beautiful.
Yes, I've got. Oh, did you?
The grid that you put online anyway. I don't know if you put this one out.
Oh, no, I haven't. I was
you showed online anyway.
So I've got some amethyst, and then I've got my little pyramid, which I love. And then of course I've got some clear quartz points that are all pointed towards me to help me focus with my energies as well. So I've got a bunch of stuff out here. So I didn't want her to knock that over, but yeah, I've got them all set up. I'll turn the camera so you can see. I just don't want to mess everything up. I just got a nice little spot just to keep me focused.
I love it.
Amethyst is healing. I've been looking for the perfect amethyst, and I found this little necklace when we were up in the mountains, but I haven't found the right one yet. But
I just got my new baby.
Oh, let me see. I can't tell what it is from here. It looks like
it's a agate. It's a moss tree agate.
Oh, okay.
And it helps with like I got 2 of them, and I can't remember which one is which. But hang on, let me see. I don't know where I put the things. Anyways, I have the cards, but one of them was for like it helps you with physical stamina and strength, and also it was just exactly what I needed. And it's just funny because we pick them out blindly. And then when they package them for us to leave the rock store, they put them in bags and they put the little card in there what they mean. And when we get in the car, we read what they mean, and it's always exactly what we freaking need.
Nice.
It's amazing how that works. You just follow, and I told Zoe, I teach my kids. I said, let them call to you. They will call to you. They will tell you, and then that's how they pick theirs out too. It's so cool. And
Yeah, I love
yeah,
to go
my
into the crystal stores and just touch everything. Leave a little bit of Reiki on the crystals as well. I do that a lot. I'll go around and give Reiki to the crystals. We went to this place called Rock City while we were in Tennessee, or I guess
I'm
it's
glad
like
to
North
see it,
Georgia.
but
And they have this whole cavern that's just crystals all fused to the wall, and they had like rose quartz this big, and then like a giant geode of clear quartz.
I
And
love
I was just in there, and I was like, I want to meditate in here, and I just started Om Namah Shivaya. And of course, my husband, when he's at work and he just experiences me at nighttime, he doesn't get a full on 3 day um 3 day weird Earth Day person. You know what I mean? Like he got to experience that all week day and meditating. We found a festival and doing crystal Reiki in the middle of the lawn at Centennial Park, and my on my daughter, and I'm like, come on, chant with me, and or do mantra or whatever, and he's like, I'm not doing that, and so it's like I have to give myself, I have to water myself down sometimes around him, but I chose not to this weekend, and I don't really care anymore. I want to be myself now. And I think that kind of stemmed the whole like why he was being such an a-hole. Sorry, but he was.
that's okay.
Yes, and he'll admit that. That was him admitting that, not me calling names. But why he is the way that he is sometimes. Um, he gets weirded out because I'm very like, woo,
I'm a lot.
and
I'm a lot.
I'm not filtered anymore,
Yeah,
and one thing he said is like, I want my original wife back when we were fighting
yeah,
last night. And I was
not
like,
gonna
no,
happen.
she doesn't exist. She does not exist.
That's the problem, man. He like just my husband, and I know this for a fact that he has attachment to a person that doesn't exist anymore. So he's trying to get to know me now. I'm being honest,
Yeah.
but I still have a hard time being that pure, authentic soul because I just am not there yet. I don't know if I can be.
And now I'm at the point where I don't care. You're either going to get me as me, and I'm going to be myself and be happy with it, and you're either going to love me for that, or someone else will. That's the thing, is that all the things that he finds weird, someone else might love. So if he wants to continue on that path, then that's his choice. I'm not going to stop him. I don't see him going anywhere, you know what I mean? But it's difficult. It's difficult being your authentic self in front of people who are judging you and who think you're like a total nutcase. And it's like, you have to detach from it, detach from what they think about you. And that's I was doing Reiki in the car because I do that. I clear land whenever I'm driving around. And so we're driving through Nashville, and I've got my hands up, and he's like, do you have your like wet nails? Like, what are you doing? Why are your hands like this? And he knows he's just making fun. And I'm like, what do you care what other people that were driving by think of your wife holding her hands up in the air? What does it matter to you what other people that you'll never see again? Why is their opinion so important that, like, he's weirded out by the weird things or things that he thinks are weird. I don't think they're weird. But I'm giving Reiki
That's a
to,
bit
to
weird.
the earth. It's Earth Day, or it was Earth Day, and I was, at the Centennial Park on the big mall of grass or whatever, and I was giving Reiki to the earth. I was making crystal grids. My daughter and I were doing crystal Reiki. I was doing it on her, and she loves this kind of stuff. I was meditating. there was like a festival. There weren't a lot of people that were meditating. There was more people doing yoga, and then it was just kind of, it was a nice event. But we're living in a 3D world, so it would be nice if we lived that way every day and not just on Earth Day. We should not be just recycling on Earth Day. We should not be just eating plants and that kind of thing just one day a year. That was one thing that in our hotel room popped on the TV was they were talking about the lady who was responsible for the beginning of her, or create, not that she created, but it transpired because of her.
Started, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, it's interesting how they took this big idea and this big movement, and then they said, okay, we're just gonna allot one day for it, and they shut it down. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of things are. It's like, oh, okay, we got all these people, now let's see what we can do to quiet them. Let's give them something small.
Pretty much.
And so for me, the things that everybody was doing at this Earth Day event are things that I do daily. Or every day is Earth Day. Every day is about grounding with the earth.
Every day is church for me.
Yeah.
Every day is church for me.
Exactly. Well, and explaining that to my daughter, because she always asks me, about her friends at school, and she says, well, this person's a Christian and they go to church and they believe this. And I said, well, we honor all religions. Everybody has their free choice to do what they want to do, but that's just not our path. And I talk to her and I explain things to her, and she listens, and I know that she understands, and she has her own beliefs, her own ideas of what everything is. And it's beautiful to hear her talk about God, because when she talks about God, she talks about, him in her heart and how he's a part of it. She was explaining to me how we're sparks of God, and that we're all a piece of God, that we all have, that she said we're half God, we're half Jesus, we're half, we've got all. And I said, well, don't forget about Buddha and, and Kuan Yin and, and all of these other, I'm naming different people to her. And it's, she's like, yeah, we're all of them inside of us. And so, having her explain things to me from her point of view, I love that. I think that's great, because we honor all truths, and we don't buy into all of the things that are false. And so,
we just don't buy into the control. We don't buy into the control, the manipulation, the shame, the guilt,
anything that is not of love. And that's as simple as I need to make it for her, is that if it doesn't feel like it's love, then that's not for us. If it doesn't make you feel good, if it doesn't make you feel happy and joyous, then that's not our path. And she's free to go on her own path, whatever that might be. There might be one day that she falls in love with somebody and he's hardcore into something, and she's going to want to feel that out and see what it is, but that's her choice, and I honor whatever choice that she chooses to make whenever she becomes of age. But I will educate her in all faiths, because I didn't have that. I had a very narrow-minded view of, this is what it is, and everything else is wrong, and that's just not the truth for me. There was one point where I remember that my grandmother was fighting with me, because we worked in the same office, at my aunt's office, and we're both working in the reception area. And my aunt actually had to, chastise her for bringing up religion in the workplace, because she was having a breakdown, because I went to a non-denominational Christian church, and that we weren't going to go to the same heaven. And, that she was like really upset over this. And, and it was one time, and it was like, oh my gosh,
sorry, I'm not meaning to laugh at her pain or anything. But my mom was the same way.
Yeah, and it's just, I feel so bad, because I've talked to her on the spiritual realm, and her ideas have broadened now. She's not. We've talked about this before. She's not all the way over there yet. But she's not far away. Let's just say it might be in the next year, might be in the next 10 years. I don't know. You know what I mean? I do see her bridging, walking that bridge at some point. Everyone does. So, but I'm not wishing that on anybody. I am going to go see her. And I was explaining to my daughter about, what it's going to be like, going to church. And, we have to kind of water ourselves down while we're down there because they are very, very Catholic. So, we're not going to be flamboyant like I am with my husband. I'm not going to be like, woo, because out of respect, I respect their choices, and it's just not worth, I'm going to be myself, but it's not worth me.
I'm so tired of it because that's what I've been doing this whole time, and I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of not being myself that I really just don't give a shit anymore. And
well, I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus on the love and being with them, and if religion comes up, we're just not going to go down that road.
So tired of it.
Yeah. But it's like I have to prepare my child. I have to prepare my child because she's going to tell on me. She's gonna be like, well, mom doesn't believe that. Mom doesn't, she's going to come out with it. And so it's going to be interesting. I've been contemplating having my husband come with me just as an added buffer to kind of lighten the mood, because, you can't have a serious conversation with him. So he would kind of be my buffer. So that's a potential.
But what's kind of funny is in the mediumship, that's funny, this came up in the mediumship appointment, either my mom or my dad or both, they said that they liked the way I was dealing with my kids. Mm-hmm. And I felt what they were insinuating was the fact that I raised them with an open mind, mm-hmm, and an open heart, and to follow their intuition and use their judgment. And like I'm literally teaching them how to use their brain and critically thinking and how to follow their intuition and dealing with their feelings. And not like telling my son he can't cry, but giving him a space, mm-hmm, to do that and say, go deal with your shit. Here's space to deal with your stuff. You don't need to stuff that shit. Deal with it, and then come out and shake it off. Go wash your face, and then, deal with it. Shake it off and deal with it. That's life. And I feel like that is way more appropriate than don't cry, don't feel, shut up, do it this way. Mm-hmm. No. How about be authentic
or even
to yourself.
Just saying that boys don't cry, you know what I mean? Like telling boys that they shouldn't be crying because it's a gender thing, and that's not appropriate. That's why we have husbands that can't express emotions and stuff their pain, because of generations of people telling their kids don't cry, put some dirt, rub some dirt in it, just walk it off. No,
I was raised that way too.
Sit with it, look at it, deal with it, and then move on and let it go, instead of carrying this bag that you've had for 40 years. I don't carry around crap.
You never dealt with your shit. Our parents never dealt with their shit.
Carry around crap from 40 years ago. I look at it, but if it comes up, and I look at it from a totally different perspective, but I'm not walking around with bags of garbage. And literally, if we could see if we could literally see the bags of garbage that people are toting around, they'd look like homeless people walking around the streets with bags and bags. We're talking like mountains of bags of unhealed trauma.
They are in an emotional cage. You brought that up earlier.
Just stubbing your knee and then not dealing with the pain. You know what I mean? Like, suck it up. No, cry for 5 seconds and then never think about it again. Like, why would you stuff it and then carry it forever? It just, and I'm not judging, because I did it for a long time too, but it's just no longer an effective way to live. It's no longer a way that I choose to live, and everybody's entitled to their amount of pain that they want to carry around with them. I'm not, making a judgment. Everyone is free to do what they choose to do. It's just not something I want to do. And so I make an effort not to do that. And it's not something I want my daughter to have to do if she doesn't choose to. And now, if she wants to do that, she has that free choice. My husband is showing her how to do it. He sets an example of what not to do, and I set the example of what to do. So, it's her choice and what she wants to, what she chooses.
Yeah, you know what? That is a real big trigger for me too when it comes to dealing with my kids. And this always created an issue between my husband and I. And I have no problem talking about this because he's been raised a certain way and I was raised a certain way. But because of my teaching and my learning, I have a knowledge of free will. And I also understand that I'm here to guide my kids, not to obstruct their free will per se. I'm here to
they've got
guide
enough of
them.
that going on in the education system and
Why
then in the
being
real
so
world.
controlling? Why you gotta be so controlling? There's just random stupid shit. I have a big problem with keeping my mouth shut. It's not going to happen anymore. And we had an issue yesterday. I told him I'm not going to just shut up anymore. If I see something wrong, I'm going to fucking say it. And it was just something silly, But I'm like, why obstruct the free will when they have free will to do whatever it is they need to do at this time? Who am I to say they can shower or have a bath? Who am I? I'm the parent. I'm here to guide. I'm not going to tell them what to do. It's a free will zone. But there's
Man,
right and wrong.
we're not even going to talk about that because bath time is it's like pulling teeth with both my husband and my daughter. I don't know what it is, but you know what? I have to look at it like this. They're getting less fluoride poisoning by not showering and not bathing. So who am
Mine
I?
love to bathe.
Who am
Well, mine
I?
want to do
Who
a
am I to
bath.
judge? Maybe
Mine
they're
want to
not
do
meant.
bath. And my
maybe
husband's
they're
like,
not
just
meant
shower.
to get chlorine and fluoride on them to for
Doesn't
whatever
matter.
reason. So I think my
have
camera's
Epstein, what is
slowly
it?
falling.
I have my salt. I put my salt in my bath. Because we finally got one. We didn't have a stopper. Finally got a stopper. I took my bath. I'm so happy because I was able to get in the fucking bath.
I'd be
So
sticking a
fucking happy.
washcloth in that.
But
I mean, I have to have a bath. I have a hose attached to my bathtub, attached to the spigot, because I love to be in water. I can't just spend 5 seconds under a spray. I need to be submerged, whether it's in a pool, a hot tub, a bathtub. I'm a water sign. I'm a Scorpio. Water is my conduit. It is how I do my energy work. I love to meditate in the bathtub.
I'm a Pisces rising, so
water. Yeah, so it's
Pisces rising. I get it.
It's so powerful for me, and it's so cleansing. Of course, natural water feels much, much, much better. Natural springs, natural lakes, that kind of thing. The ocean, of course, feels the best. I would say out of everything. So when I do get to go down to Florida, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on the beach and doing some cleansing rituals and things like that.
The ocean is amazing. And here in California, the water is cold though. So you have to deal with cold water here. But it's amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. It's refreshing. It's cleansing.
It's pretty warm in Florida. Hopefully there's no sea lice when we go down there. And jellyfish are usually floating around. And my daughter knows nothing about jellyfish, so she'll be the one to go up to it and poke it, and that'll be fun. So.
Oh God, I'm laughing at these cards I got.
What do we got? Honey, come on. All right. I'm gonna take the phone and lay back because I'm tired.
Share your voice. It says share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution. Expression. And you know what's funny about expression, as I just shared, the life is an expression, not a destination. And that came to me like, yeah, we're just here to express. Like, our kids are here to express and do our best, Yeah. Stop judging. Stop judging. Stop having expectations.
I know. Well, that really is what, I'm constantly telling my husband all the time, you're not upset with the person or the situation. You're upset because you expected it to go differently. And of course, I'm one to preach to other people, but then taking my own advice, it's a little more difficult to listen to ourselves, because we're healers and we're here to heal the world, and we forget to heal ourselves first,
We do, and I've been raised to put everybody else first, and that's how I was raised. I was raised I put to put other people's emotions first, to put other people's needs before mine, to it's been ingrained in me. So now when I'm trying to empower myself, it's really difficult for me to say, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that. Or just to say no, even. I have such a hard time with it. And people have really taken advantage of it. And I feel like it's unintentional, but nonetheless, it's really taken its toll on me. And I can't do it anymore. I can't be fake
Yeah.
and I
I
can't
know
lie.
it's going to be a challenge to be
I can't
as
lie.
authentic as possible, but have to be around people that are very suppressing. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. You know, but I feel like there's a reason. Like when I went to Nashville, there was a reason that I went there. I had no idea what Nashville was like. I had no idea that it was. I mean, I was thinking the mountains, but it turns out that it's like Mardi Gras kind of.
Dude, it's Music City. You went to Music City,
Yeah,
girl.
I had no idea the amount of drunken,
Party.
like, party buses
It's a
full
party.
of
It's like
people
Las
with a
Vegas.
bar on the bus. Yeah, it
It's like
was
Las Vegas.
it was insanity. And I actually took a picture because the sun was peeking through some of the
Oh,
skyscrapers,
my leg's gonna fall off.
and uh-oh. But I took a picture of like the sun poking out between the skyscrapers, and in the picture there was a downward spiral, and like from the how you get the little glitches with the sun, a little blue uh, stuff in the sun. And I was like, that's pretty funny that there's a downward spiral coming on, coming down towards the sun, because this area is so full of this downward spiral energy of people that are just intoxicated. And they're and I was trying to explain this to my husband, because the next day I was saying, I feel so much better that we're leaving this area because it's so much dense energy. And that was why I was there, was to clear some of that energy, to that's a
Yeah.
lot of what I do. Um, but he was saying that I was judging the people that were having a good time, and I said, "No, they're honestly the victims, because they're going there with this expectation that they're going to have a good time, they're gonna, let loose and be carefree, and really what it is, the city is set up. I mean, someone is higher up that's planning these bar after bar after bar after bar. They're giving this area this opportunity to be this trap for low vibrational energy. And then when you drive one street over, there's courthouses and bail bonds everywhere. And I'm going, they've got the bars in front of the bars for a reason, because it's about making money. It's about getting that 1-2% of people who are going to get in a bar fight, who are going to drive drunk, who are going to get caught, and siphoning that money, siphoning their time, their energy, getting them locked into the judicial system. It's about looting people's wallets, getting them carefree, but then also harvesting that low vibrational energy that is being siphoned by these entities who are feeding off of the low vibrations. And so there are so many of these locations where
Nailed it.
people go to have a good time, and they wind up the next morning feeling like their soul has been sucked out of their body, um,
And
for a reason. And honestly, I'm not judging those people, because I've done it. I've woke up that next morning next to somebody that didn't necessarily want to be next to, and that feeling of, you just feel like crap. Was it worth the good time that you barely remember? Not so much. But somebody's profiting off of this, and every single bar was owned by a person in the music industry. And I'm going, well, I wonder if those people actually own the bars. I mean, I'm sure the company does, but do they have anything to really do with it? Or is it just about this whole corrupt system using that as a catalyst? Once you get into the music, or the, not that I want to get into that today, but the music or the Hollywood industry, what is
I was just
required.
riding down
Yeah.
Hollywood because what
What's
do you think
required
Nashville
to be a
is?
part of that. Yeah. What
Nashville
is
is
just another
Music
subset.
City. It's
It's just
Music
an
City.
umbrella. Yeah, it's just an umbrella company
It's
underneath
the
all of
same
these
thing.
corrupt I'm not getting, my husband got upset when I was saying satanic Luciferian people, but he's like, just call them corrupt people. I was like, but that's honestly who owns these.
They're beyond corrupt. It's beyond corruption. Sorry.
And so,
Beyond them.
that is who is siphoning this energy. And so when I saw that downward spiral come, I knew immediately that that was why I was there. I get called to a lot of these places where there is energy harvesting happening. Whether it's a Masonic lodge or I'll just see a Freemason sticker on the back of somebody's car. And, I don't know anything about them. I have no firsthand knowledge. I just know how it feels when I see these things. And I know that the energy doesn't feel good. And that when I get that feeling that it's a calling to
clear it out.
Yeah.
Clear out that energy.
And so I do this a lot. So I did that. So I know that when I'm going down to Florida, that it's going to be a lot of that kind of thing. I go into these places that don't feel comfortable, that don't feel good, and I shine my light. I do my energetic work, and I know that I'm not the only one. That there's other people who are called to do the same thing. In different places, and that's part of the energy healing and the energy work of being a grid worker. Working on the grids and the ley lines and setting these things correct. Setting them right. I want everybody that goes out to have a good time to go out and have a good time and not be a victim of things that they're not aware of.
Just be aware of what you're doing, where you're going. That it's possible that people could be harvesting your energy. And your soul.
I had this feeling too, like, I don't want to get into, I don't want to get blocked on YouTube or anything, but I felt like there might have been some, it could have been a good place for people to pick up other people, if you know what I'm saying. You get a lot of drunk people. Yeah. But I just had this feeling like there was a lot of that kind of activity going on, that there was a lot of people harvesting. Let's just say that in the physical, not just energy.
Trafficking. We'll call it what it is. It's trafficking.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't want to say it and get in trouble with them.
I've been trafficked. I have been trafficked. And when I realized that I was trafficked, it was very scary, to say the least, because you don't really know that you're trafficked when you're trafficked.
Well, I mean, how easy would it be for someone who's under the influence to go home with someone who's good looking, who's interested in you, and before you know it, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time?
You're in a completely different city, or you don't know where you are, and you're like, I don't really know what to do. It's pretty fucked up. I'm not going to lie, and so realizing that stuff, because this is trauma that I refused to acknowledge. And while my parents were alive, I couldn't do it. I couldn't acknowledge the stuff because I kept pushing it away because I was ashamed of it, because my choices got me there. The sad part is my conditioning and programming affected my choices, but my choices put me in those positions. So knowing that I played a part in my own trafficking is kind of fucked up, but you got to take responsibility for your own actions and your own behavior. And that was part of my own personal healing process, because when people just take you and don't let you leave, that's kidnapping. And that happened to me so many times, but I never called it that. I just went along with it. I was like, fuck it, right? And so because I was like really laid back and really just whatever. And part of that is that autism that I have, that naiveness, that blind faith in other people, that they're going to do the right thing no matter what. No, unfortunately, people are not that great. I'll just put it that way. They haven't been great to me. We'll just put it that way. And so because of those things, I had a lot of healing to do. But until we're authentic, until we realize, like you said earlier, you said at the beginning, emotional cage. And I wrote that down because earlier you also got into talking about people being in an emotional cage where you just refuse to feel because we've been taught not to feel. So we put ourselves in an emotional cage, and once we're in that cage, we can't see other people's trauma. We can't see their pain. We can't understand how they feel. And that is our narcissism. That's our lack of sensitivity, our lack of compassion. You know, I would say narcissism could be a split between lack of compassion. You literally can't see their pain and their trauma. And so, us, because we've been through it, we're the ones that are able to see that to help people get through it. But a lot of people can't see it because they haven't gone through it. They haven't dealt with their shit yet. And
Well,
they live in this
I
toxic
think it takes
positivity.
lifetimes of evolving to come to that realization. You know, I mean, I've seen myself in parallel lives, you know, as other people, without that empathy, without caring about other people. You know what I mean? And so I have learned how to forgive other versions of myself for not understanding the pain that I have that I had inflicted on other people. You know, and so incarnating again in the opposite role of that, I've learned um how to be empathetic. So we've had to go through this lifetime after lifetime of being the abuser and the abusee, to learn that love and compassion feel better. You know, and that's not a place of judgment. You know, it's saying that it doesn't feel good um, at a soul level to be the abuser. It doesn't feel good either to be the abusee. It feels better to be neutral. You know, but I am aware that this world is experiencing both of those. And so my job is to be that neutrality that comes in and you know, and clears that the negative, clears the positive, clears all of it, and brings it to neutral.
Yeah.
And so it's not about, you know, better than or worse than. It's about, you know, we need to go back to clear, you know,
Yeah.
to
It's
balance.
about healing. It really is about healing, you know, because a lot of us, our parents, our grandparents, they were not taught to deal with their emotions. They were taught to shut everything off and just but that's what we're here to do, is to change that. I mean, we're the system breakers, the cycle breakers.
Well, I mean, that's where a lot of alcoholism and addiction comes from, is because of handed down teachings of don't deal with your emotions, don't deal with your feelings, and stuff them and bury them. And then, you know, then you want to go out and have a good time. Well, when you've got all of these things that are weighing you down, they're going to come up when you ingest something,
When you're
because they're
weaker.
just waiting there. Yeah, they're waiting for your inhibitions to weaken so that they can come and they can be traumatic for you. And then so you have people who are stuffing those emotions constantly and they can't deal with any of it. You know, it's better to remove yourself from that situation, deal with the traumas, and then if you do want to have a night of fun, then do that, but set intentions beforehand so that you're not just open to lower vibrational energies and your past trauma as well. You know, that's something that I do. If I am going to drink, and it's very rare, but if I am going to have a drink, I set an intention before ingesting that. If I am going to take a medicine, even if it's just antacid, I'm setting an intention for it to do
Thank
what
you.
it is that I want it to do, because it's important. We don't know who else put an intention on those things. You know, I recently,
We talked
uh,
about
you know, we've talked about liquid death and that water, and I've seen some videos about um, people casting spells on the water so that it would be harmful to the people who imbibed it. And so whenever I see the trucks or I see this in the store, I'm putting Reiki and setting better intentions on these things. And we can do this as Reiki practitioners, setting intentions on food, setting intentions on nature, on plants, crystals, things like that, because they are willing participants. And so, you know, water, regardless of someone setting intention on it, we can change that intention. So if someone is putting bad juju on things, let's change it to good juju, you know. And you don't know if somebody, you know, is in a bad mood when they're making it and they're not meaning to put a bad intention on something. But you know, they could be doing something and yelling at their kid at the same time. Somebody could be aggravating them. There could be a lot of noise that's just bothering them, and they're in a not good zone. You know what I mean? Not a good vibe when they're creating whatever it is that they're selling. You know, I'm doing a lot of herbal remedies and tinctures and oils and salves and things like that. So when I'm creating, I want to be in a meditative space because I'm setting intentions for my products and for the people who are using them. So you have to remember that when you purchase something, whether it's shampoo or face wash or or alcohol, we have to change those intentions because you don't know who was making it and what intentions they were having when they were creating. Were they in a meditative space of joy and happiness? You know, do you want joy and happiness in your world? You can do that by setting that intention on whatever product it is that you're putting putting in you.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway.
That is so important too, because in intentions, it's so simple. You could just, like, for myself, I don't drink, but if I want to drink, I'll because I don't mind a beer or like an Angry Orchard every now and again, to be honest with you. But it's the fact that I'm doing it to feel good and be happy and participate, because I am usually by myself. Like we talked about hermiting, I'm always by myself. And so if I'm out having a drink, then I'm there to participate and share my expression with other people. You know, express myself.
For me, my one vice is vaping. So I've looked at it in a, because we get all of the Surgeon General's warnings and everything telling us that it's cancerous and bad for you and all these things. So I changed the intention of it and I use it as a healing thing because our ancestors used tobacco to clear, just like sage, they used it to clear energies. And so I've changed the intention of my vaping to something positive. If we're going into something like you're drinking and you know that it's bad for you and it's going to hurt you, it's going to cause cancer, it's going to cause liver cirrhosis of the
That's
liver,
problem.
it's going to cause you to have a legal issue. If you go into it and say fuck it, I don't care, you're co-signing. You are signing up for the thing that you're saying you don't care about. So change the intentions. Change the intentions of what you do.
So what you're saying is the Surgeon General warning could be an intention.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, because cigarettes cause cancer, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like
The thing.
if you think about sunblock, the majority of the ingredients in sunblock cause cancer, and we're putting these things on our body to prevent the sun from causing us cancer when the sun it gives us life.
What we need is a tolerance
Yes.
to the sun. We need a
Yes.
tolerance to the sun. We don't need protection from the sun. We need to go out in the sun more and get a tolerance to it, not protect ourselves from it because
Not
we need
put
the sun.
toxins on your body. If you're really that concerned about sun, then wear a hat.
I mean,
Wear
look how white
clothing.
I am
Wear
compared to you.
clothing
Like,
to cover yourself. I know. Wear something to cover yourself. I know. My husband's like, you're too much with the sun. I'm sitting in the
super
sun right
white.
now. But I don't sit in the sun for 14 hours a day. You know what I mean? I don't. I gradually sit in the sun for an hour to 20 minutes to an hour a day, and or more. And I don't usually sit in the heat of the day. Right now I am because we're on the podcast. But as it's getting to be more summertime, I will be indoors in the hottest part of the day as a preventative measure because I know that it's too hot, and B, I don't want to deal with the repercussions of a sunburn. But there are other ways to go about it than putting toxins on our skin that are proven to cause cancer, and also having that thought in your mind that the sun is going to cause me cancer, and you are creating cancer in your body because you're accepting that. So we have to change our intentions. Change your intentions with the sun. See the sun as something that's healing you, but also be aware of your exposure to it, your exposure to everything. You need to expose yourself to things in moderation. We don't want to overload ourselves with anything, because too much of a good thing can become a bad thing, no matter what it is.
That's why we build tolerance. And like I have, I've like people are always like, because I smoke weed as my medication, but people have this idea of like Snoop Dogg, and people have this I don't know. I don't know what it is. But anyways, it's judgment is what it is. So they think that I sit around and look like Snoop Dogg all day and smoke all these joints. No. I take a hit or two in the morning. I take a hit or two as needed when I'm here, and then I smoke at nighttime. And that's pretty much it. If I'm working or I'm gone or I'm doing energy work or I'm doing readings, I'm not smoking. If I'm working, I'm not smoking. If I have things to do, I'm not smoking. If I'm helping someone, I'm not smoking. It's not like that. It's like I take care of my responsibilities, but I've been smoking since 2012. And I also haven't found it necessary to stick up a bank or rob anybody or steal when I run
Yeah,
out. It's
you
like
you
whatever.
haven't overdosed on weed.
So no overdosing or anything. So,
Well, you know what I find
people have
interesting is
judgment.
that the drugs that you can die from that are so toxic and so bad for you energetically and spiritually, they're the ones that are legal. But the drugs that bring you closer to God, that open your mind, psychedelics and marijuana, that kind of thing, those are the ones that are prohibited. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why is that? Because the ones that are legal create money. They lube your wallet. They cause you to do stupid things that get you locked into the judicial system, deaths, sickness, illness, things that uh, rack up the bills at the medical centers, the hospitals. Your doctors are getting paid for the. So you have to think about it on a higher level. These people are planning our downfall. And so, they don't want us to have that connection with a higher. Oh, the dogs aren't on the leash. Charlie, come. There's somebody coming through the yard. Charlie, come. Honey, come on. I'm gonna put them inside. Come on, girls. Come on. Charlie, honey, come. Come on. Let's go inside. Come on.
No problem.
Go
But
inside.
yeah, you're right. Like seriously.
Go. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Life happens.
I was just taking a breath. I was taking a breath too.
So, well, it is getting hot out here. So, and I'm going to enjoy a little bit of the sun.
It's been an hour or two, so
Yeah,
we're at
I
101.
think I'm going to get in the hot tub and because I have the temperature turned down. I don't think it's up just yet. My friend wanted to come over. So I turned the temperature up. So let me check on that. I know I'm mobile today.
That's
Normally I
awesome.
got one thing on. So you can see where I make most of my magic.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see what the temperature's at.
It's all good.
101. I might have to turn it down. It's a little hot now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm going to be for the rest of the afternoon. So I think we could probably wrap it up, and then I've got a couple. Get down. They're calling me. So I've got a couple of readings tomorrow, a couple on Friday, and we'll see what comes in with those. But we can talk about ones. Let's see, maybe Thursday we could do another one if that sounds good.
I do need to schedule a couple of those, and then that's pretty much it. I'm not mobile at the moment. I'm still healing my legs, so I'm actually getting rides to go get my kids, and so I'm still chill. I'm still healing my leg, but I don't know what I did. I pulled a muscle, and it was really bad. Like I literally laid around all day Saturday on Earth Day. It was totally meant to be. So
your right or your left leg?
It's my left leg. Up at the top of my femur too, right by my hip. That was horrible.
That's the feminine side, the left side, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't know.
So yeah, no, I'm healing so much on so many different levels. We're all just leveling up, you know. That's important, just to allow yourself to flow through things. Try not to have attachments though. It's so important.
Flow like the water.
Flow. Yeah, so anyways, I started off with Ace of Water, which is basically new emotional opportunities, and then love right after that. So I feel like new love, or new opportunities for self-love more opportunities for you to feel loved, period. It doesn't really matter where the love is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But we all need that right now. And then I got Hermit. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Or Virgo energy. Basically, just that's how I've been laid up, and it's kind of funny. I just have to relax because we are also getting movement. So we got Hermit, and right after Hermit we got movement. So I feel like that Hermit time is coming to an end soon. And then we got the Sun, which obviously is like the greatest energy you could possibly feel. The Sun energy is like, I don't know. It's like you achieved. You
How
have achieved.
anybody tricked us into believing that the sun was bad for us is beyond me. Like beyond me. The sun is what gives us life. It is my favorite thing. It is. I'm looking at it right now. It is the life giver. It is. I mean, that it is like my husband's like, why do you take so many pictures of the sun? And I was like, if you could see God, would you not want to take pictures of God like every time you saw him? You know what I mean? Like it is an entity. It is an energy. It is alive. It's just like Mother Earth. If we were sitting on the moon, I'd be taking pictures of the Earth the whole time. You know,
we're getting upgraded.
Yeah.
You know, that's upgrading
so much
us.
for us.
And then I got Justice.
Good.
I was thinking about Justice because that's fairness, equality, and balance. Fairness. So if things haven't been fair to you or just or balanced, it's balancing itself out. You just have to just go with the flow and allow it to balance out. But I also got manifestation, which is what you seek is seeking you. And I've been saying that lately. That has come up again for me.
You did say that the other day.
I did. The last episode too. That's awesome. I also got witchy medicine.
Oh, I like these cards.
Yeah, this is. I have to cover her because she got her butt out and her boobs are out too. But I have to cover them on YouTube now. But connect to Earth. It says connect to Earth. Yeah, these are my witchy oracle cards that I got.
Love it.
I just
you're gonna cover them.
And the last one is the death card, which was 13. 13 is a death card, which is feminine. This is awesome. I read this. Divine feminine, step into your power. And I am stepping into my power. I am following my heart. I am doing it. I am listening to my calling. I am following my intuition. And because I'm doing all of those things, the universe has my back. That's the best part. The universe has my back because I'm doing all of those things. So, oh wait, I forgot all these. I forgot these oracle cards. You're already doing it. You are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Keep facing your true north. Be true to yourself.
It's about to get loud here. They're about to do yard work next door. So
okay.
Okay,
trust and niggle and share your voice. That was the one. Share your voice. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. I'm out.
All right, yeah. Here I'm starting the yard equipment, so I'm gonna go enjoy. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Love you all.
See you later. See you next time. Bye.